Good morning, students. In our previous class, we studied about the electron transport system and oxidative phosphorylation. So, whatever the reduced coenzymes are formed to the glycolysis, link reaction, Krebs cycle. So, all those reduced coenzymes are reoxidized to the electron transport system. So, in this electron transport system, whenever there is an reduced coenzymes involved in this electron transport system, they release electron and protons. So, those electrons in the electron transport system just carried out by some complexes. So, these electrons ultimately accepted by oxygen. Whenever the electrons are carried out by these complexes, in complexes or through the complexes, simultaneously protons are translocated to intermembrane space based on the proton gradient. Then at fifth complex or the ATP synthase complex, those protons are translocated from intermembrane space to mitochondrial matrix. So, whenever they translocate, release energy. By utilizing that energy, ADP, inorganic phosphate, will be synthesized ATP. That means here the phosphorylation mechanism is linked with the reduced coenzymes. So, whenever the reduced coenzymes are oxidized, the electrons will be released and then automatically ATP will be synthesized. Okay. So, in this total respiration mechanism in aerobic respiration process, how many ATPs will be synthesized? How many ATPs will be utilized? Okay, in our previous class I already told the total number of ATPs through the aerobic respiration, 36 ATPs. So, in step-by-step manner, NADH2, FADH2 are formed, or there are some substrate level phosphorylations. All those, once again, just we recap in step-by-step manner through the balance sheet of ATP. Let's start our discussion with balance sheet of ATP. Just you see, first this is the stage release of ATP for hexose, ATP consumed, net gain ATP. Now you see, in glycolysis, the first step is the glycolysis in aerobic respiration mechanism. First glucose converts to glucose 6-phosphate, then 1 ATP consumed. Okay, in this 1 ATP consumed. After that, fructose 6-phosphate converts to fructose 1,6 biphosphate. Here also 1 ATP consumed. Then glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate converts to 1,3 biphosphoglyceric acid. Will get 2 ATPs. Okay, glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate whenever converts to 1,3 biphosphoglyceric acid, actually here NAD converts to NADH plus H plus. So, in this you observe this NAD converts to NADH2, this NADH plus H plus involved in the electron transport system directly at the region of second complex. That means first 4 protons just you leave it. Only 4 plus 2, 6 protons. That's why through the glycolysis, whatever the NADH2 are synthesized, these NADH2 are directly involved at the second complex. Then 2 ATPs, 1 NADH equal to 2 ATPs through the glycolysis. That means here 2 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Once you refer glycolysis, 2 molecules of NADH2 will be synthesized That means 1 NADH equal to 2 ATPs. That means 4 ATPs will be synthesized. Then 1,3 biphosphoglitaric acid, 3 phosphoglyceric acid. This is the substrate level phosphorylation. For one molecule, 1 ATP will be synthesized. Here 2 molecules, 2 ATPs will be synthesized. At last, phosphoenol pyruvic acid converts to pyruvic acid. Here also for 2 molecules, we get 2 ATPs. That means, after electron transport system, whenever we calculate the ATPs in glycolysis, total 8 ATPs will be synthesized. Okay. Then, how many ATPs are consumed? 2 ATPs are consumed. 2 ATPs are consumed. Then net gain ATPs are the 6 ATPs. Okay. 8 ATPs are formed. 2 ATPs are consumed. Net gain ATPs are the 6 ATPs. Okay. Then, after glycolysis, in aerobic respiration mechanism, there is an link reaction. In the link reaction, pyruvic acid, this is the 3-carbon compound, undergoes oxidative decarboxylation. Then we'll get the acetyl coenzyme A. So here also, for one molecule of pyruvic acid, 1 NADH plus H plus will be synthesized. It will be participated in electron transport system from one complex. So that's why here the link reaction, whenever the NADH2 are synthesized, it will be participate electron transport system. Here 1 NADH2 equal to 3 ATPs, not 2 ATPs, 3 ATPs. For one molecule, 1 NADH2 synthesized, but here 2 molecules of pyruvic acid. That means 2 molecules of NADH2 are synthesized, then we will get the 6 ATPs. After link reaction, this acetyl coenzyme A directly involved in the Krebs cycle. So in this Krebs cycle, we find some oxidations. So in first, isocitric acid converts to oxalosuccinic acid. Then for every 2 molecules, you take every 2 molecules. Because of acetyl coenzyme also 2 molecules. Okay, for 1 molecule of pyruvic acid, there is a 1 Krebs cycle. Here 2 molecules of pyruvic acid, we require 2 turns of Krebs cycle. So that's why we have to take every time 2. Isocitric acid converts to oxalosuccinic acid, 6 ATPs. Alpha ketoglutaric acid, succinyl coenzyme A, 6 ATPs. Succinyl coenzyme A to succinic acid, only direct substrate level phosphorylation, 2 ATPs will be synthesized. Succinic acid converts to fumaric acid. There is a formation of FADH2. This FADH2 is also directly enter at the second complex stage. That's why there is a formation of 2 ATPs. Okay. So that means FADH2 equal to 2 ATPs, not 3 ATPs. That means 2 molecules of FADH2, 4 ATPs. At last, malic acid converts to oxaloacetic acid, 6 ATPs will be synthesized. That means when you calculate these total, 38 ATPs will be synthesized from NADH to FADH2 directly synthesized ATPs. So in these 38 ATPs, 2 ATPs consumed in glycolysis, then the net gain ATPs are the 36 ATPs. Okay, after aerobic respiration, total ATPs are the 36 ATPs. These are the net gain ATPs. Okay, this is the balance sheet of aerobic respiration. So whenever you read the textbook, compulsory just you calculate the oxidation numbers. So from glycolysis to Krebs cycle, oxidation numbers. So hydrations, dephosphorylations, phosphorylations, all these individually you calculate. Okay, may ask in the examination point of view. So after this balance sheet of ATP, there is another important phenomenon in aerobic respiration mechanism, that is amphibolic pathway. So in majority of the organisms, glucose is the major substrate. It will be involved in aerobic respiration mechanism. So whatever you take the carbohydrates, glycogen, starch, all these converts to glucose, then only enter into the aerobic respiration mechanism. That means simple sugars. So this is the aerobic respiration process simply. So by this aerobic respiration mechanism, the energy will be released. Okay, some of the energy will be released in the form of heat, some of the energy will be utilized. Okay, not total energy will be utilized. So this is the carbohydrates. These carbohydrates converts to simple sugars, then it enters into glycolysis, link reaction, Krebs cycle, like that. Here we mentioned one term, that is the amphibolic pathway. That means plays a dual role. Actually here the aerobic respiration, just we mentioned amphibolic pathway. Generally in our concern, the respiration is the catabolic mechanism. Photosynthesis is the anabolic mechanism. Anabolism, catabolism. But in this aerobic respiration process, we find anabolism, catabolism. Okay, generally it is an catabolic process, but sometimes it also a anabolic process. So that's why the respiration just we mentioned as amphibolic pathway. So now we go for this amphibolic pathway. Major substrates are the carbohydrates. Other substrates also involved in aerobic respiration mechanism. Fats, proteins and other organic acids also involved in the respiration process. But these substrates does not enter at the first step. Based on the situation, they enter into the aerobic respiration at different stages, not at the first step. So when we have to take the fats, these fats converts to fatty acids and glycerol. So these fatty acids undergoes beta oxidation and converts to acetyl coenzyme A. This acetyl coenzyme A directly enters in the Krebs cycle. This is one thing. Then you say glycerol. This glycerol whenever converts to glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, then it enters into the aerobic respiration mechanism. It is, you see, not at first step. Okay, based on the condition here, whenever there is a beta oxidation, directly synthesize acetyl coenzyme A, here glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, then it enters into the aerobic respiration. Like here, proteins. The proteins are degraded. Actually, the amino acids are the building blocks of proteins. These amino acids are joined by peptide bond formation. Whenever we degrade the proteins by protease enzyme, we get the simple or the individual amino acids. So these amino acids also enter into the respiratory pathway in different ways. Whether it may be pyruvic acid or acetyl coenzyme A or Krebs cycle. At different stages it will be involved. So this is the catabolic process actually. Here fats will be involved, proteins will be involved, but when the organism needed these substrates, when the organism needed fats and proteins, these are withdrawn from this respiratory pathway. Okay, so wherever they enter into the fats, fatty acids enter at the region of acetyl coenzyme A. If there is a requirement of fats, just those compounds withdrawn from this respiratory pathway and involved in the synthesis of fats. That means up to here there is a catabolism. Whenever this acetyl coenzyme A again synthesizes the fats, that is the anabolism. That means the fats involved in the catabolism, simultaneously they involve or the synthesize in the anabolism, plays a dual role. Here proteins also. Okay, involved in the catabolic process. Sometimes they may withdrawn from this respiratory pathway and synthesize the proteins. That is the anabolic pathway. Whenever you take the Krebs cycle, in the Krebs cycle you observe alpha ketoglutaric acid, okay, synthesize glutamic acid. There is an oxaloacetate, synthesis aspartic acid. Succinyl coenzyme A, synthesize pherol compounds. So these all are under anabolic process. That means the Krebs cycle is an also one amphibolic pathway. Different types of intermediates are there. Those intermediates will be involved in the synthesis of compounds. So that's why this respiration mechanism or the amphibolic pathway, that means it will be involved in the catabolic process. Sometimes it may participate in anabolic process. So that process we call as amphibolic pathway. Okay. So this is about amphibolic pathway. I think almost you are very clear. Okay, next we have to discuss about the respiratory quotient. This is the last aspect of this respiration. Okay, our next aspect is the respiratory quotient or the respiratory ratio or the RQ. So in respiration mechanism, we will know oxygen consumed and carbon dioxide evolved. Okay, in respiration, suppose we have to take a cell, so the oxygen will be consumed, the carbon dioxide will be evolved, the energy will be utilized by the cell. So here the ratio means volume of carbon dioxide evolved by volume of oxygen consumed. Okay, carbon dioxide evolved, oxygen consumed. So that is the respiratory quotient, volume of carbon dioxide evolved by volume of oxygen consumed. So this respiratory quotient is somewhat different in different components or the different substances. Suppose we have to take in carbohydrates. This carbohydrates RQ value equal to 1 because of there is an equal amount of carbon dioxide evolved by oxygen. That means 6 molecules of carbon dioxide evolved, 6 molecules of oxygen consumed, then the ratio equal to 1. In fats, so compared to the carbohydrates, so these are poorer in oxygen. The fats RQ value is always less than 1. Suppose we have to take in tripalmethyne. In this 145 oxygen molecules will be consumed, 102 carbon dioxide molecules will be evolved. The ratio is equal to 0.7, less than 1. Organic acids. So these organic acids having more oxygen molecules compared to the carbohydrates. That's why the organic acid RQ value always above 1. That means oxalic acid equal to 4, malic acid 1.3, the RQ value. Then in anaerobic respiration, RQ value, here anaerobic respiration means completely there is no oxygen. So that's why only there is an evolve of carbon dioxide. For example, here 2 molecules of carbon dioxide evolve. So then the value is infinity in anaerobic respiration. So this is the RQ value. So this is the final phenomenon of respiration in plants. So to this, our topic was completed. Okay, we will discuss next class with a new topic.